So we're being told that the police failed to vet a bunch of police officers. It's an outright lie. They didn't fail. They created a special panel that was specifically designed to overrule the security experts who tried to stop them. I just want you to listen to what Julia says here. And then I'm going to show you exactly why and how they could have easily prevented this.
Scotland Yard decided to pretty much drop any vague pretense of vetting recruits to the Metropolitan Police because they needed to, A, get in a lot more officers very quickly, or they would lose a load of Home Office funding, and B, they wanted to get in a load more diverse officers. So if you victed a particular little tick box category, your colour, skin colour, or your religion, or claiming to be trans, or whatever it was, you basically were fast-tracked through. The only problem with this is, and despite the fact that we're not trained as police officers, we're not detectives, we could spot this without knowing any more information than that. It turns out a lot of wrong uns got through. We're not talking about a few rotten apples at the bottom of the barrel. We are talking about 2 serial rapists among more than 130 officers and staff let in due to vetting failures who have gone on to commit crimes or be accused of and guilty of misconduct. Now, by the way, those are just the ones we know about. The ones who've committed crime and have committed misconduct that we don't know about aren't on that list. Huge numbers of very bad people will have got into the police force. The very people who are there to protect us from, checks notes, bad people, were open-armed, welcomed into Metropolitan Police. One of those officers, I kid you beeping not, had been accused of being a child rapist. Now, luckily, he hadn't been accused of anything more serious, like misgendering someone or, I don't know, being a climate change denier, because then perhaps they wouldn't have let him in the Metropolitan new diversity way.
So you can see Julia is saying it's almost as if they didn't know, but the reality is actually much darker than that. They carried out an internal review, and it showed that it was, I think, over 4,500 officers. I've got it highlighted down here. Let me just blow it up so you can see it. So yeah, 5,073 officers were not properly vetted. 4,528 had no special branch vetting, no MOD checks, but they had 114 who had their vetting refusals overturned. I mean, it's basically nearly 5,000 people that could have links to, organised crime, terrorism, just waved through the door. So she mentioned the child predator. I have to choose my language carefully. And the worst part is these people weren't missed. It's Cliff Mitchell, this guy. He was actually vetted, rejected, because of an allegation that he had made against him. It was unproven, but they let him in anyway. I mean, you can see, I probably can't read half of this on YouTube, but yeah, he was recruited despite being accused of this. And then the only reason they eventually caught him was because a passerby saw a female victim running through the street in Hackbridge. It's, and then this guy was in as well. And yeah, he believed that because of his position as a police officer, it made him untouchable. He was a firearms officer as well. So how did this all happen? Well, it's the Met's secret weapon. And it's this Disproportionality Panel that they've got. So the panel's job is to take people the security team rejected and force them in to hit diversity targets. They basically overruled the security experts on Mitchell, this guy, and hired him anyway. I mean, you can see here in this announcement from the Met Police in their document, the vetting panel was designed to review vetting refusals, and it was prioritising ethnic minority groups. So they overruled the experts, hired him anyway, and he continued committing assaults. So why do this? Well, money. That was it. The Home Office told the Met that if they don't hit recruitment targets, they'd be fined. I mean, essentially the Met made the choice, right? What's more important to us? And they chose money. And the government still withdrew 31 million in recruitment funding. I mean, if you incentivize, you might think incentivizing policing outcomes like reducing crime or catching criminals might be the right thing to incentivize. Obviously, you'd be a fool for thinking that. They incentivize simply hiring people that tick certain boxes, and to hell with the consequences. And Julia made the joke about, being arrested for or kicking police out for gender critical views. It's not a joke. So while they were overturning refusals for these predators just to boost their diversity numbers, they were aggressively purging officers for wrongthink. If you tweet that biological sex is real, like this guy, Harry Miller, you're investigated for hate. But if you have an actual history of violence against women, well, the Disproportionality Panel says, welcome aboard. And it's just, look at the image that they've used here as well. I mean, it's kind of quite typical of the BBC. It's not the most flattering image of this guy, and it's unfair. I mean, I'll just play the first couple of seconds of this video so you can see it.
I'm delighted, obviously. I mean, I won my personal battle, I suppose, against homicide police almost 2 years ago. But this was, I did this for the nation because it's fundamentally wrong.
So I won't go into too much detail. He did win his case. But yeah, they're literally attacking this guy while bending over backwards to let men like this into the police. Anyway, let's let the video finish up.
But this guy got into the Met Police. Look, we had the problems, didn't we not, with, we had the killer of Sarah Everard. We've had numerous other cases where we've had horrific, David Carrick, one of the UK's worst sex offenders ever. Cliff Mitchell, a serial rapist as well, who called himself the devil. There were clues, guys, there were clues. Wayne Couzens was known as the rapist before he abducted, raped and killed Sarah Everard. His nickname was the rapist. I mean, it's not like people didn't know. And these people were welcomed into the police force and able to have power over other people and to commit crimes with impunity. And we only know about this after the force being sort of forced to admit it after an investigation. I want to know your thoughts on this, because this is frankly terrifying. You think we've got a problem with two-tier police. We've got a problem with the lies from the West Midlands Police, the Chief Constable and others, about the banning of the Jewish fans from Israel, because basically a load of Islamist extremists in the mosques in Birmingham said we don't want Jews in Birmingham. It's a Jew no-go area. You think that's a problem? Imagine having a child rapist as a police officer investigating a case in your home, yeah?
This was not incompetence. Incompetence is like losing a file. This was a transaction. They prioritised money over the safety of women and children. And they get a pat on the back from the diversity lobby for doing it. I mean, the uniform was already disgraced. It's just nothing even close to a symbol of trust at this point, which is exactly what it needs to be. But I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you found this video useful, please do comment, like, share, subscribe. That would be much appreciated. But until next time, thanks for watching.